Hey guys, welcome to another video made by myself, Fraser, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys are enjoying the content. Here we are, we're doing one final flight with the Eastern Airways ATR. We're going to do, like, I guess you could call it a repositioning flight down to Norwich. They did do flights from Aberdeen down to Norwich, but for this purpose we're going to, appears to be there's like a storage facility, mechanic base down there, so we're going to do, I guess you call it a pretend repositioning flight down to a storage facility there. So we're going to just get straight into it, and it's still in the turnaround state as I left it in the previous flight, so we're just going to get into it and start this next flight. So just going through this checklist I forgot to do when I parked up, and we'll now come into our flight plan, our data page. Go to init, position init, realign or set up the GPS. We'll go return, we'll go to flight plan, and we'll now enter in our flight plan. While it's doing that, we're going to be flying at 24,000 feet, so we'll go ahead and enter in 24,000 feet. And we're going to request flight clearance, get our runway that we're going to be using. That's 24,000 feet. Perfect. Alright, let's enter in this flight plan A. So entering in the flight plan, execute, go to our airport, and we're going to be using the 34 Glesk departure. Enter that. Now we're going to go ahead and enter in our flight plan. So from Glesk we're going to be using the P600 airwave to Gris down here. Then we're going to do another airwave 601 down to TLA, and then Y96 down to Natib, and we'll execute that, return one more time, and then we'll enter in the last waypoint manually, which is going to be OTR. Execute. So that's our flight plan all sorted. We will now go back into data, and we will go back into init. We'll confirm our altitude. We're going to be cruising at 24,000 feet, and then we'll enter in our weight and balance. So we're going to enter in our fuel, which is going to be 17.8, basically 1800 kgs, which is, that's perfect. And it's just going to be a very, very light flight up there, so it's going to be basically almost empty. So that's our weight done. We'll just enter it into our FMS. So fuel is going to be 1840, And our zero fuel weight, 15,433 minus 1840 gives us 13,593. Moment of truth, does it balance up? Yep, it does indeed. And our reserves is going to be 300 kgs. Sweet, so that's our weight done. We'll now enter in our, we'll go to the VNet, the performance page. 6,000 feet is our trans altitude. And we'll enter in our forecasted weather in Norwich, which is going to be QNH 1018. 6,000 feet is our trans altitude, and our wind's going to be a very gentle 7 knot wind coming from basically the north. We'll make that 10 for our gust. Sweet, that's our flight plan all sorted, so we can now go ahead and close up the aircraft. I'm surprised, there must be a bug because I've got the I've shut down all of the engines, and the battery still it's operating off the ground power unit, so there must be some sort of trigger there that makes you drain the batteries from the power from the batteries even if you're plugged in. Right, we're going to now, the prop brake is, we're going to turn on the prop brake, so we'll turn on both fuel pumps, select this to AMB, and we will push this little hydraulic button here. We'll get that prop brake set, we'll start that engine, turn on the seatbelt signs, get that power going so we can turn off the ground power unit. We'll just check this checklist. We'll confirm takeoff data, reset the fuel 1.5, so we'll set the trim. We'll set the trim now actually. Sweet, that's our trim set. Perfect, we're ready to go. We're going to turn off the external power. We'll turn on the TRU and the probe heating. We can now disengage the ground power, wheel chocks, get the tug, remove the parking brake. Beacon light can now come on, and now we'll just push on back. And we'll start engine number 1. We'll turn off the prop brake. And that will do us perfectly. We'll just straighten them up, stop the pushback, get rid of the tug, and we'll select that to off. We'll turn on our taxi lights, and we can basically just select these to auto. We'll get that power going. We'll put the throttles up just a bit to get that hydraulics pumping through the system. We'll turn on all of our pitos and our anti-icing. It's a bit cloudy out there. Right, that TRU is lit up, so this suggests that we've got power. Right, we can now head on out to our departure runway. Request taxi clearance. Select flaps 15. And we'll take this taxiway here. And we did land in a tailwind, but obviously we've changed runways now. We've been given the clearance to use the headwind runway. I'm just clearing all of these because I know I've done this so many times, but you wouldn't do that in real life. You'll be following the checklist. So we'll remove the gust locks. We'll just see if our takeoff config is okay, which it is. We'll turn on our flight directors. We'll go heading mode and nav mode, AIS and VNAV, so that's all set. One thing I will do, I keep on forgetting it, so I'll just push this go around button here, set our go around flight directors. Just one little final check. Everything looks good. I've closed up that door, which I didn't have open in the first place, but just making sure. Get some last little bit of cold air in. Right, we'll do hacks off takeoff for this. Right, we're just going to turn on our strobe and landing lights. We're getting near the end of our runway. And we're clear for takeoff, folks. Alright, what we will do now is we'll make sure we do ready for takeoff, sync our heading bug, and away we go. And take off. Alright, looks like we're going to start our hard bank around. I'm just going to go to autopilot, let the autopilot do the rest, but it's not seem to be turning, so I'm just going to, I'll try that one more time. Oh, I forgot to put it in FM mode, that's why. Right, now everything's falling into place. And this is one of these annoying little bugs with the ATR that's doing this turnaround thing, which is a known bug in the ATR, so I'm just going to have to go into heading mode and get it back on track again. But hey, we've got a slight little overflow of Aberdeen city there. The busy port town, gateway to the oil fields, and up north to the Orkney Islands and the Shetland Islands. Alright, we're going to go to bar as select standard, clear this now that we've pretty much done everything we need to do. We will turn off the landing lights, the taxi lights, turn off the passenger warning signs, and I think that's all we need to do for that. As we climb on above 10,000 feet. Now let's see if this heading works now. Let's see if this navigation works. Right, I'm just going to go to nav mode, see if it does anything silly. It is indeed, which is frustrating. Right, we're just going to, maybe if I go direct, because there's lots of, we'll just go direct to that waypoint there. Hopefully that will solve the problem. Go back to nav mode, and that should, yeah, that seems to be working. Or is it? Yep, the ATR is a very, very interesting aircraft. Right, I'm just going to have to stay in heading mode and just go to this waypoint. Right, we can turn off our anti-ice systems. It's pretty dry up here, so we'll just click all of these to off. Wrong button. Right, let's see, by going past this waypoint, will this fix my issue with the our nav VNav? Alright, I'm going to try direct to PTH. We'll go to VNav, our nav mode, see if that seems to sort itself out, so perfect. And we're now going to go into cruise power management mode, and that will be us for the time being, and sit back and relax, and we'll get back to you when we start our descent into Norwich. Welcome back to the tail end of this flight, ladies and gentlemen. We've just been given our clearance to descend, and according to our arrival, and we're going to set our altitude down to 3,000 feet, and we'll set our QNH as well. I've set up our arrival just before, so I'll set the QNH 1021, and we will go ahead and I'll enter in that NW. Oh, actually, no, we're not gonna. We're gonna change our arrival settings, so we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna get vectors. And in our parking, we're going to choose 9, so that's sort of near the hangars there. So I'm gonna choose 9. Apply. So that's all set, and we'll be starting our top of descent very, very soon. And we're basically flying that runway heading at the moment, so we could just go into heading mode actually and just follow that runway heading. That heading 30130. And yes, we come in to land our final flight of end of an era for Eastern Airways as this aircraft will go into the hangar. So I need to be in LNAV first and then go into VNAV path before I can. So I'm just going to stay on this heading, stay in LNAV until I do get more vectors, and once I get those vectors, then I should just keep it locked into VNAV path. I'll go clear these checklists. Approach, we'll do that once we get closer. Right, we'll go ahead and we'll turn on the seatbelt and the no device signs. We'll do the landing lights just in a second. We'll get it as close as we can to the 10,000 feet. What we will do is we'll turn on the anti-ice system. And while we're here, we will turn on the landing lights now, and so will the taxi lights come on, and we can now clear that checklist. And we'll clear that first one, the cabin crew. Right, turn left, heading 1. Oh, I'll just reduce the sim rate. I'll go to heading mode 15115. Got Norwich Airport just over there, which is our final destination. Oh, turn left for 19090. QNH is now 19, so we'll see at 19. And we'll descend down to 2,000 feet. And turn right 180, basically heading south. And I guess we can start pulling back the speed just a touch. So we're getting really close to our sweet, so I'm going to turn 220. And we can basically arm our approach now. Oh, have I... Hold up, I haven't entered in my RLS, have I? So I'll quickly do that now. So quickly 10.9, so I'll quickly do that. Oh, that was lucky. So just activate approach again. I'm just going to go to heading mode and just get that heading back on track. But it doesn't seem to be doing it, so... That looks like it's locked in. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off the autopilot and bring this aircraft back across.
Terrain ahead.
Hey, you know what? We'll just land it manually, eh?
Terrain ahead.
And we'll just clear all of these checklists. Oh. Right, minimum approach speed. And we'll just put these forward. I don't think you have to do it all the time, but it's just a habit I've got into. And I like the sound of that high-pitch engines coming into life. Right, I'm going to try the autopilot one more time, see if that does anything. It looks like it's... Yeah, now it's back on the ILS. Just to see if it's still working, but it is working. Perfect, we're all lined up for our final landing in Eastern Airways. It's been a pleasure flying for this airline, and yeah, it's going to be a memory I'll never forget. Right, I'll turn off the autopilot, turn off the yaw dampeners, and we'll do the rest ourselves as we enjoy a bit more greenery here.
Approaching minimum.
Getting a little bit sidetracked here, but we'll bring it back on again. Bring it back on to profile.
200.
Bring the throttles back
Minimum.
just a little bit more.
Minimum.
And we will try and aim for those the first touchdown markers here, so we can take one of those first taxiways. And
50,
that's us coming into land.
30, 20.
Let's end
10.
on a nice smooth landing. Just like that. And just like that, we've made it to the taxiway I want to take, so that's brilliant. Flaps can now come up. Landing strobes, and hey, we'll turn off our taxi lights. We're pretty good. We'll come down here and select those to auto. We'll clear this checklist. Get back onto our taxiway. Bring up the map. And follow this into our hangar bay. We can turn off our external powers, turn off our pitot tubes, turn off all of this anti-ice. Right, we probably can power down engine number 1. Oh, and we should put the gas lock on. And here we are at Norwich Airport, which is another freeware airport that I've got from Flight Sim TO, and it looks really good. I think I've done one flight in here in the past, but if not, then this definitely is the first time I've flown to this airport. And we're going to go around to these hangar bays over here. We can actually shut down this engine fully, get rid of these, all of these warning notifications. The suns must have penetrated through the clouds by the looks of it. Right, we're going to carry on around here and just park up in one of these bays. And I think we'll just find a little park here somewhere, and that will be the end of our little regional airlines of the UK that have now no longer. That's the end of our little series, and we'll just park up here right in front of this KLM hangar. This right there will do, and we'll power that engine down, and we'll go ahead and put the prop brake on. Get the chock, open up the cargo doors, turn off these no device, turn off the beacon light, we'll turn off the engines, and we're not going to connect up, we're just going to shut it right down, and that's our flight over, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of that flight, and we'll see you again next time.